Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously, we've widened every fairway, but we widened them basically back where the members hit the ball. So the start of the fairway is wider, but it pinches down. We removed a lot of extraneous bunkers and shifted a couple of these last bunkers further down so that they are appropriately set up for the landing area. And then it's downhill and downhill off the green. I mean, the green just runs away from you. People talk about an introduction to a golf course, you know, firm handshake, gentle handshake. I mean, welcome to Oakmont. We're going to hit you in the face with a roundhouse.
What else would you expect?
Exactly. So it's beautiful. We expanded the green over there to the right-hand side, so there's some additional hole locations. We're not able to fly over the turnpike, but as the players head over the turnpike, they're going to be met with, you know, a really an interesting short par 4. And what we tried to do here is we created basically 3 buckets for them to play into. In the past, they were pretty limited to hitting mostly shorter shots. That first bucket just flew over. That's for irons. This second bucket will be fairway metals and hybrids to get in here. That's a little bit wider, trying to entice them to play a little further down. And then the third bucket over this cross bunker is guys who want to try and drive the green and hit it up in the approach. This green's probably had as much expansion and alteration as any others on the golf course. That upper shelf on the left-hand side is significantly expanded, so you can expect some hole locations up there. And then also down below on the right-hand side was flattened out, but this green is tough. 3, probably the most famous hole on the golf course. We added about 40 yards there, so now the backdrop for number 2 is this long tee box, partially blind tee shot. You can see the second half of the church pew bunkers. We added a pew on the far end. We stretched this out, so now to carry the church pews is about 340 yards, so even the big guys are going to have to think about that. The crescent formation of bunkers around the right-hand side was original per phones. We restored this little bunker here and expanded the fairway out dramatically to the right. That bunker where the guy's raking down there short left was originally up into the green. In the recent renovation, we pulled that away, and right where the guy's walking with the hose is one of probably the best hole locations on the entire golf course. Tiger would probably be happy to know that we've got away from the chipping area over the back of the green, which caused him some consternation, and that is now rough as the way the phones has had that designed originally. Number 4 tee, the highest point on the property, probably the best view. You can see all the way across to the clubhouse, down the entire side of the turnpike. Par 5, so a good scoring opportunity for those guys. We stretched the church pews further, so we kind of pulled the church pews on both ends, stretched them to guard the modern distances these guys hit it. The cross bunkers you're going to see up here at the top of the ridge, those were restored. They're originally part of the design of the golf course, but have been taken out as being viewed as too penal for the average golfer. But they actually now provide you some context for your second shot, because it's blind over the ridge. You can pick a point on that cross bunker and now actually have an idea of where the fairway ends on the left-hand side. Bunker City all the way down the right side to challenge that. This green complex, same thing. We lowered all the bunkers along the top edge, trying to create some better hole locations on the front corner. When you see this from the fairway, the horizon line of the green, the back edge of it has been restored, so really you don't see any rough over the top, so it gives a really uncomfortable feeling playing into that green. Number 5, we added about 30, 40 yards to it, still a blind tee shot up and over the ridge, short par 4, so you'll see players take any number of clubs as they go through this. Bunkering either side of the fairway. One of the things we worked on here was trying to shallow up the bunkers a little bit, trying to get them more in context with what phones originally had, and trying to get the players to think about, you know, if you get in a bunker prior to the restoration, it was pretty much death. Now you've got a chance, you might be able to actually get a full shot or at least a better opportunity to go for it. And we think that inspires a little bit more aggressive play. Down through one of these famous ditches, very practical from a drainage standpoint. It's old farmland, so they use these ditches in the cross. This green complex has got the most wiggles on it, but we found a great old photograph looking from number 4 down onto the green, and it showed this pattern perfectly. Lowered the right-hand side of the green in order to accommodate a significant number of hole locations along that edge. So you'll see some pretty good new hole locations on number 5. Number 6, par 3 down the hill. We added about 10 yards to the back of it, so it has some variety in the way it can be played. Prior to the 16 Open, Bill Coore and Ben Crenshaw, right where that guy's mowing, flattened that back corner of the green to provide more hole locations, so those will all be in play as we go through the golf course. Just a nice little break between, and we get to number 7, which is proven to be a beast this week. playing into the prevailing wind. We moved the tee back about 15, 20 yards. And this is probably my favorite change to the entire golf course, is we found this bunker pattern from the Phones family had created a cross bunker down the left-hand side, which to carry the inside corner of it is about 305, carry the entirety of it's 317. But we restored the right-hand fairway, so you don't have to carry it. But if you take the easier route off the tee and play down the right-hand side, those two fairway bunkers are blind. They make the second shot blind. You can see that green side bunker gets in the way. If you make the forced carry over the fairway bunker, you got the best angle. You can see the entirety of the green. People focus so much on Oakmont being penal, but it's really, there was a lot of strategy in the way they laid it out. We're hopeful we recovered some of it. Potential for a whole location down there front right. This bunker was about 3 feet deeper, and again, the bunker slope fed into the green. So by removing that, I think we created some more opportunities for different ways to play this golf hole. Back shelf is generally where the hole locations have been in the past, and probably will be primarily on this go-round. Boy, this is I got to catch my breath.
I love this.
I'd pay money for this.
You at one point were a U.S. Open commentator.
I had a very short TV career.
You're very good at it.
Well, thanks.
But yeah, I think you made the right choice. You have a good business.
Well, thanks. I think
every player and architect should be listening to this, Gil. This is really enlightening. Thank you.
Like I'm getting a tour of the Sistine Chapel with Michelangelo up here.
Probably what we hear the players' least favorite hole. And honestly, as an architect, the hardest holes to design are long par threes because they're already difficult just based on the nature of their length. So what do you do to make it harder? And a lot of times you can overdo it. I think this one is really good in its simplicity. The cross bunker there, right where the guy is mowing, was an addition that we put back in. Bob Ford was instrumental in convincing the members that actually was a good addition, because if the hole location's up front and the course is really firm, you want to just carry that new cross bunker to get the ball to bounce and kick into the green. The green is extremely large, fairly benign, a lot of accessible hole locations to it. But I was out there watching, and Scotty was playing with Noah Kent, and he hit driver. He didn't hit it very well, and he hit it short. He came up short, and I tell you, Sam Burns wore his ear out over that. They had a really good time with it. And then I think Noah Kent hit a 3-iron on the front of the green.
No, that's Dana Fry's.
Dana Fry. So Dana's a good friend, and he asked me to come out and walk.
Dana's on property, right? This week.
He is. Yeah, which is great. I mean, being an architect of a host U.S. Open site at Erin Hills, now he gets to look at it from a completely different lens.
He did a great job.
I know he's enjoying. Back across the turnpike, heading home. This is a par 5 for the members, but has been, since 2016, converted to a par 4 for the U.S. Open Championship. Blind tee shot, pick out a chimney on the clubhouse, depending on which shot you want to play. We restored that big fronting bunker there, more from a scale and perspective standpoint. It's obviously not going to be in play for any of the players in this championship, but it really increased the way the hole feels like it's climbing up the hillside. Obviously, death in those ditches over on the left-hand side, but a very tight landing area. Long second shot into the green. The green itself is guarded primarily by that front right bunker. By pulling the top edge of that bunker down, we were able to create a significant number of new hole locations just over that bunker. I think you'll see those in use. We're calling that bunker, I think somebody referred to it as the rat tail bunker, and that's the way it originally was in the Phones design. There's a little feature just in the shadows there referred to as the piano bench, which is just a little up and over, and it has been a significant part of putting difficulties on this green, so expect to see the piano bench be part of the challenge here, and obviously unique in that it winds its way into the putting green on the back edge of it. So pretty significant, wonderful front nine.